Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay!
B!
How's it going?
I hope I'm as good as the levels are. Are the levels good?
The levels are
check.
great. The levels are great.
I want to welcome everybody to the Work-Related Podcast.
That's at Related by Work on X.
Oh, X the dumpster fire. I'm thinking of deleting those fucking CCTV shootings and all that shit.
Yeah.
This new one that's gotten to my stupid algorithm, which I don't want to admit that I can't stop watching is, what's it called? At the very last second. Like, it's like motorcycle footage of like people right before they die.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like how this gets in my fucking footage.
What the hell?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I was thinking of, instead of complaining about it, it's the second it comes in my feed, just like block.
Yeah, you could say I'm not interested. You can just, if you keep scrolling, don't show any interest in it at all. That's another way.
That's yeah, you're right. That's how I know the AI can see what my eyeballs look at.
Yep. If you keep it too much on one, sometimes I get guilty of that and I say, I don't want to see this anymore. But then it goes back and you know that you are interested in it, but you just want to get rid of it. But then you stop on it. You're like, oh shit, no, just put it out the screen.
That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. It's like I start complaining about it, but these start to come into my feed. You know what's crazy is you just have to do a little bit of extra research. And I'll go into the like hit the tweet or whatever, and then go in. There was this really weird one where I guess it's like the moment just before, or whatever it's called. And this guy was like, you know, like tandem parachuting, right? Like whatever buddy said. It looked like tandem parachuting or paragliding. And this guy was like the front person, and it looked like they were just shifting or doing whatever, and he fell. It looked like a whole innocent accident. I don't believe anything, so I was very suspect. I should have shown you before. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. So the guy's like double tandem parachuting, and he's like shifts for a second, and he falls. And it was like a 15-second clip, and that's it. You're done. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And you watch it, you know. I'm admitting,
watch it again and again. Yes, I got it.
And so I'm like, the more I watch it, I go like, what happened? Why did he do that?
Yeah.
So I hit the tweet, and you just go through the things.
And then people are talking.
People are talking. People are like, what the fuck? That looked on purpose. Like, is it real? And then there's a video showing him have another parachute.
Oh.
Like he did it for viral videos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Right? Like it was like, this is how
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to be like, well, don't they have parachutes, right, on each person?
I think part of me was thinking, if I'm trying to rethink of it, it's like I'm rewatching to see can I see a backpack on him? Can I see like this is why I thought for sure when you're telling me about your Elf on the Shelf downstairs with your elaborate plans, like, oh, this needs practicing. Like what you want to pull off, you have to practice.
We do.
And you're the type of guy that I think would do the practice. So I'm watching this again. So a few like clips down, Twitter shows X whatever, it shows me a different view from where he fell, quote unquote, accidentally to him like clicking the parachute real quick. And it was like, and it was over water. So some of the comments before I got to that were like, well, at least he was over water. Oh, for sure, buddy's dead. Like all this other bullshit.
At least he was over water. Like that's going to help.
I don't know, right? People are weird, right? Like they don't fucking.
They don't understand that water
is like concrete.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's not air, right? Like it's because you're, I don't know, whatever. So part of me was thinking like, if I want to stop complaining about, I guess I just don't want to stop complaining. It's like, I should just block this account. Right from my thing, but it's just like I'm obviously interested.
You are.
It's like car wreck interested.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Right?
All right.
All right. So anyway, that's what we are on X.
Yes.
We are related by work.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of work, we have not been related by work this week.
Yes.
What I did not mention last week to our holiday extravaganza long episode last week was that other than your tire pressure that you got, have you used it?
Yes.
What did you do below it with your tire pressure?
My oddly enough, the rear passenger side tire was low. And so I was like, oh, yes. And so, you know, I put it on.
You're excited.
I hooked it up. You know, I push it. You just push the PSI level and you push play and then you walk away. You
I'm
come
impressed.
back and it was fully pumped. The power thing was off and everything. I'm like, oh, I just take it off and throw it in the bag.
That's the future in your fucking hand.
Oh my
there
God.
There was no way your dad's dad fucking ever thought this would be possible.
He's pumping with the two hands and shit.
Even that one is fucking not that archaic, right? Like that's a fucking highfalutin one.
Yeah, that
to
is a good one.
Yeah.
You know you're pumping. You got
The
30
pogo stick
pumps.
one. Yeah, for sure. That was highfalutin in my day.
I used to dream of one for basketball. You know, just
I used to dream of the foot one.
Oh,
that
that
was
one?
that one. Yeah, the rich kids had the
man.
foot one when I was growing
no.
up.
That's just too far for me, man.
Oh my God, bro, that's fucking hilarious. What I forgot to fucking give you props for, or not props, but most of the people I hope are going to think you're too gay for, is that you were Mr. Attendance for the company.
I was.
You weren't alone.
No,
Like you were, it was a fucking three-way tie.
with the regulars.
So this is really odd. This is like inside baseball for us, but for many years, the same people have been winning this attendance award,
Yeah,
right? Like you,
off and on-ish, but yeah.
but yeah, like the break and shear, the at times before the busiest section of our work or whatever,
Yep.
they had to put the most hours in, whatever. They were the most reliable. Blah blah blah. They ended up it was an automatic thing for a few years in a row. I don't know if it switched last year. I can't remember. I'm not going to care. But when the boss started talking about the attendance one, I get it why this is one. If I was him, I would personally hype up, right? Like it shows a lot of dedication, a lot of this.
It's hard.
It's fucking not easy for sure. I don't know why it would even be. This is more an indictment on me, not you. Why it would be important to anybody?
That's the thing. Like
You must be conscious of it for the whole year.
I was not this year.
Fuck off.
So the thing is, for people who don't know, to win the attendance award, you have to miss like less than an hour.
No.
To be first, you're gonna have to miss hours. And we're not talking days. Some people think, like I told somebody I won the attendance award, they're like, oh, how many days did you miss? I said, if you miss a day, you're out. You're not in the top 3 for sure.
No.
So you have to go down to like hours or point hours to win this attendance award, right? So last year, I tried to win the attendance award and I didn't. Okay, I actively tried. This year, I didn't think about it at all because I was under the impression that like a supervisor could not win the attendance award. So I just didn't think about it at all. It was just like, whatever, somebody else is going to win, that's already gone. And so when I won, I was actually surprised.
You became a supervisor in the middle of the year, though. I don't think you started the year off. I could be wrong.
I started as a lead.
Yeah,
but I also
different. You're in a different position now this year than you were last year.
Supervisor was like, yeah, a little
Not a
bit
lot, but a little
on.
bit, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have the production supervisor. You were still welding last year.
Like last year.
A little bit, yeah.
This year
Before
I was really not welding.
Yeah, you've turned into a different, like we talked a little bit last year or last week, your different trajectory that you have for yourself.
Exactly.
But so I can see why you thought that you were a supervisor in that way, but you were part of it the year before. I don't know if I should interject this now or what. I gave up on the attendance award when I didn't call bullshit. It's all legit. Like what you're saying is like you have to be like point hours away.
Yeah.
Attendance to me is how many hours you put in. Like, me and Danny both felt this way in a way because Danny puts a lot of overtime in.
Yep.
He says that he gets a competent. They have like he misses time for his family and shit, like hours wise, but he puts a lot of hours in a way. So
Yep.
one year, years ago, I realized I put a lot of overtime in, and I'm like, oh, I'm up for this attendance award, I think. But I like come in late. Like I don't start at the same time. I have this own. But they changed the hours on me.
Mm-hmm.
We used to start at 7:30, then it went to 7, then went to 6, and I'm like, I refuse to go to 6. I'll stay later, and so it wasn't mandatory. And so whatever. I was like, when they announced the people, Danny and I was like, what the fuck? It was like it's just being there for the official hours.
Yeah, for your schedule.
Overtime doesn't count.
Nope.
You can win the attendance award doing whatever 20,000 hours, however many hours it is in a year for workers. And you could have put in 30,000 hours and not be up for this award.
Yeah.
So in my mind, you attended for 10,000 more hours.
Yeah.
So you should win it. So I would have given up anyway.
I see that because that's what I thought too in the beginning. But it does kind of make sense that they can count on you to be there at a certain time every day. And I think that's what they're trying to bank on. Like,
that's the most important part.
Yeah.
That's why if I was the boss, I would harp on it. And I get it. That's my own hang up on the thing, or my own personalized touch on the thing.
Yeah.
The real thing is just be here when we need you to be here.
Yeah.
All the other shit is great. Everybody does it, but who can show up from 7 to fucking 3:30 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I get it, but in my mind, that takes effort. You have to put the doctor's notes in on time. You have to fucking take your holidays for sick days. You can't do other bullshit.
You do doctor's notes, you're out as well.
Yeah, well, I've never got a doctor's note in my life.
The only way you can, only way your days don't count towards it is scheduled vacation, and not like how our work we can schedule vacation after we've missed the days.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
No,
either.
I get it.
It's only pre-scheduled vacations, and that's it.
So rules are rules. So I'm thinking that takes an effort. So when you tell me you didn't try, I believe you. But I've thought you have to have that on your mind to win this award. Short story long, you were part of a 3-way tie for 0 hours missed.
Yeah.
You guys you have to keep upping the prize because this is another thing. Because people are being more impressive doing it. Like this must be, I guess, the first year that 3 people have tied for 0 hours.
Yeah.
But like you said, the winner for the last 10 years has been 0 hours for sure.
Mm-hmm.
When your boss Medeiros is complaining that, me and my brother, we used to get like a fucking Wendy's gift certificate, and we won, like, where's that trophy? Our plaques are on it, like he was saying something like that. They were missing days.
Yeah.
It was not an hourly thing at that time.
This is like a lot slimmer margins here.
Lot slimmer margins. We didn't have computer time cards. We didn't have all that, it was all like, what color pen did you write hours that you came in on? There was lots of forgery going on, back in the good old days. So he's full of shit when he says it like that. So it's super impressive. What I was, I don't think I harped on a bit last time, or because we didn't talk about it. What I thought of what's funny this week is like, so how was work for you this week?
There was no work this week.
What happened?
I took the whole week off.
I was working.
Yeah, but I had to,
So you've had the whole week off. You already said it. You've had the whole week off. What about next week? What's going on for work for you next week?
Next week's shutdown.
So you're not working next week either.
Not working.
So
this
Mr.
week.
Attendance over here won the award and then stopped going to work.
Absolutely, 100%.
And I got to also know that not all of these are vacation days. Or all of these days you're taking off
this week.
Are they tied in? Yes.
Yeah.
And next week during the shutdown are those vacation days?
No, they're holidays and shutdown.
And those are 3 bad, but those won't count. So do those not count for next year's attendance award?
No, shutdown, because they shut down doesn't count for attendance award.
So I thought you were just you didn't care to win next year.
No.
This is two things I thought.
I don't care to win next year.
That's funny. That's the only way you can win. Yeah. Or that this is no big deal.
Clearly, not caring is the way to win.
So this is not a big deal. I'm not making this a big deal or caring away. I hope this is for you actually. Or you're going to be on salary this time next year.
No, I'm not doing salary. Fuck that.
This is this is the next trajectory for being the train conductor that you want to be.
For being on the floor,
like just being something different. Like, like being a schedule. I get it more now. I've thought of it in different ways.
It would be good, but being on the floor doesn't make sense to do salary to me.
But you're barely on the. You're
always
a foot and a foot. Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't either.
Always.
But I just don't know if that's my stagnation. But you know what I mean? Like how different you are. Being on salary, you must think. I thought you might think differently of it than I do.
Not really. I just think for some things it just doesn't make sense. Like for overtime, like I get a half an hour of overtime every shift because I start at 3 and my shift starts at 3:30.
Wouldn't you negotiate that into like? I would also assume the bump in doing a salary, like going because you're on this different trajectory, right? Like you're on this escalation. So if you become more of a management thing, it's obvious you're not like the rest of them aren't hourly. So that is a progression you're on your way to.
Yeah, so everybody at supervisor level is actually, no, not everybody is.
No, it's different for everybody else.
Yeah. So I know who's on salary and who's not in the supervisors.
Like I would assume Nicole and Ryan are on salary.
Yeah, but they're in the office.
But you're not wanting, you know what I mean? But when we talked about it last week, you know what I mean? Like you can see yourself doing that type of thing.
Yeah, and if I get into their job where I don't have to be on the floor like that, then yeah, it makes sense. Or I have the option to work from home type of a thing. Then yeah, salary does make sense in those ways where a majority of their jobs are done on computers. The majority of my job is still dealing with humans and freaking sometimes I still have to tell people how to make stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So that part of it, yeah, I'm not ready. I don't know how, it's mostly the guys on the other side of the shop who are on salary, like the supervisors over there, like hydraulics and like the IF guy who was there, who you just realized was gone. He was on salary as well, right? So it's usually those guys who take
I wondered if
salary.
it comes with a bigger bump. You know what I mean? Like that's how you will get a big raise to go with all this. You know what I mean? Other escalation. You know what I mean? Or as other
maybe
ramping up of your job
maybe
skills
like,
or something like that.
I know, for example, Tim, he refused. He was telling me that he doesn't do salary at all.
So he's old schooler than I.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's more of an office guy than, you know what I mean? He's on that trajectory that you are, but a way different way about it.
Yeah.
And more accepting of that kind of role. But that's just, I don't know. I just think that's just more of a sucker's back. We're so in love with overtime. Like I haven't done overtime for ages, but when you're in that mode, when I was in my own, like before I got soured on the attendance board there, you know what I mean? Like, and I was doing all that kind of, it was like, oh yeah, overtime's great.
Yeah.
Because you're already there. You know what I mean? Like it's easy money. And you don't want to feel ripped off.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't want to feel like they're emailing you and calling you, but you're on fucking vacation looking at your emails.
I know, right?
Like you're a clown enough to know that I called in sick on Monday.
Of course, I listen to everybody.
And fucking, like,
I was gonna say, Jay, are you all right?
Yeah, how come you didn't text me and find out? You
I
don't
was
care, right?
I was trying not to do anything to do with work.
We're not work. We're just work related. You couldn't come and ask.
But I don't want to say, hey,
you didn't want to get called out.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
I wouldn't have even known if your wife just leave it and say about it. I wouldn't even know, all that.
Right? She just baits out the whole scene.
That's hilarious. So I don't even know if you know how to enjoy your 2 weeks off.
Monday, I just ended up like cleaning my inside of my entire computer. I was like dusting it. I was like taking stuff out, wiping it. And then the next day I cleaned out, I have a closet in the office with like a whole bunch of computer stuff. And I got rid of so many boxes and so many things that I didn't need. Like I was like still in work mode on like Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday I started to like chill out a little bit more. Like, you know, I was like, okay, you don't need to be doing something all the time. You can just chill out. Yesterday, I streamed with Daryl. He does a Twitch stream every Thursday.
Awesome.
And I streamed with him.
Oh, that must have been great.
It was fun to actually play a game. I haven't played a game in so long. And
that would probably be really good for the other pod.
Yeah,
that would be great content, man.
It was fun.
You should try to do it next Thursday if he does
killing zombies.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we were doing that. That was all right. So it's kind of been...
You're easing it. It took you 4 fucking days.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're
it's ridiculous.
So were you not even drinking?
I drank Wednesday, but other than that...
Are you working out still?
Yes, yeah.
Even on your holidays?
Oh, yeah.
You don't care about the Christmas fucking...
No.
Extra like goodies hanging around?
Right now, I'm
extra
still
peanuts?
enjoying it, actually. I'm still
enjoying working
it.
out?
I had taken... Did I tell you? Who was I talking? Oh, I was talking to my cousin. So... I had hurt my elbow. I don't know what I did. So I think it was like, because I've had tennis elbow before. So I feel like this was the same feeling. It was tennis elbow. And so I was avoiding doing certain workouts because it actually hurt so much that I couldn't lift the weights or do whatever, right? So I was just like trying to give myself some time. That was like, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I only started working out again on Tuesday. So there was a little laxer, but I wanted to do it. I was happy to do it.
And were you getting drunk? Were you drinking? You only drank on Wednesday, you said.
Yeah, I got drunk on Wednesday. Yeah.
So is that like part of health too?
Yeah,
the drinking part, right?
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, I like your discipline. Did you know that they're doing like a health thing at work?
Yeah, the steps thing.
Yeah, I just saw it yesterday. There's only, what's that?
250 kilometers in 100 days. I'm on the social committee, so yeah.
Nobody's surprised. So I saw that. So I didn't even know I was going to talk about this shit too. I've not, even when I've decided to give myself some leeway or not care that much or whatever, realize the rut or the downslide I'm in or whatever. I was just like, okay, I hate the New Year's resolution part of doing it on New Year's. It's good to go do it, but I'm ready to go. Like I'm still in the mode of not feeling good about myself, about letting it go, and the reasons, and it's all like kind of bullshit. But I think I'm on the uptick of not feeling sorry for myself or whatever, living in that, kind of ready to get back at it.
Yeah,
I'm still sore and I'm still this and that, but whatever. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you're in this mode that you can do it. Like I can only compare myself minimally. I'm still eating shit. People brought over fucking peanuts, honey roasted peanuts, fucking yeah, whatever. We're getting pizza. We're going to the Mandarin tomorrow. Like, I don't want to give up on. This is where if I'm on vacation, if I'm not trying my hardest, then just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm old enough to not to let it slip the whole way. It's fun to be on a slide.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Like,
everybody deserves a lull.
No, it's not that you deserve it, Brian.
Absolutely. I don't think that people can. I think you need to enjoy the opposite side of certain things sometimes.
You don't want to hate eat or hate not exercise or hate like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like self-hate. Like, but it's when you think in that way, it's hard to not think of it. But whatever. I'm trying to enjoy it. Like, I was sick last week, so I didn't I was like, oh man, I didn't get to enjoy my weekend. At least it's before Christmas. Like, they brought the candies. So, but I'm realizing like I can't revel in this fat fuck of vacation mode. Mm-hmm. And so I saw I'm not a joiner. I'm not on the social committee. I saw the fucking the flyer that had these steps thing, and I barely read it. I almost actually wanted to take a picture of it to understand it a little bit more.
Yeah,
because I didn't tell you this. I broke my watch at work.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you haven't seen me because the glass.
Yeah,
was
I've been wondering why you haven't been wearing your watch.
When I had to start building all these heavy steel fucking things, it must have bashed against something.
So it's just the glass.
I came home one day and the top of the glass was chipping away.
You can fix that, you know.
Yeah, I haven't bothered.
There's
I think I've been
there's
angry.
a place by the Walmart thing. It's a cell phone repair thing. You can bring it there. They'll fix the screen, no problem.
I should do that. So we was wondering when I saw this fitness challenge or whatever they're going to do. It's like, oh, I must have to need a watch to do it.
Yes. Oh no, you can use your phone.
How's that going to count at work?
You would have to keep your phone in your pocket. That's the only way.
Yeah, but if I had a watch, I wouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
So this is not your cousin Brenton. Shout out, Merry Christmas, buddy. He would be like, oh, this is the company tracking me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, this is a way that they can fucking squeeze in there. Oddly enough, when I heard it, this is total sidebar. When I was listening to the radio station coming here, this is a thing old people do. Dial on the radio.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get that next episode. And they were saying, oh, this new Chinese app. And so I was thinking, oh, fuck.
What, Temu?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like so it's like, oh, the Chinese companies in this American factory way we talk, you know, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just a fitness challenge. No, we don't want to check that you're going to Harvey's. Mm-hmm. No, we don't want to check that you're doing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the next step is. Like,
well, I can tell you that our HR guy is really on top of things. So when we were doing the meeting, the social committee meeting, she was talking about this challenge that she wants to do. And his first question is, so you're going to be able to see people's location? And she's like, no, we can't see any of that. No, because if you join a group, you can't really see direct location.
I love that about Mo.
He's like, and then he asked a couple more questions, and then they sent an email out about it, and then he responded to the email saying the thing. He's like, I just want to make sure that this stuff and all this stuff. I
love that.
I'm like, this guy is really on it, and so
that's impressive.
So so she's like, you can't see any location. It's just gonna say your steps, and that's it. It's gonna say your distance traveled.
Do you think it'll work? So I was hoping
because I know the app. I know Strava app. Like I know
you used it before. So I hate my Apple Fitness compared to Fitbit.
Yeah,
I almost want to go back to Fitbit compared to that Apple Watch. I've never even joined the Fitbit, but I'll hook myself all back up. And in my fat fuck ways, I wasn't ready, and in my nonconformist ways, I hate the New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
I hate like, you know what I mean. Like, but I should. If the company's going to do this, I should embrace myself. I didn't tell you at work is I told you a lot of other bullshit. Like I had a hard week at work this week just to finish up what the boss, you know what I mean? I was very compliant with what everybody wanted, and but I really worked hard, and by the time I finished yesterday, this is maybe why I'm angry at you for not enjoying your holiday more, or how I would, because I couldn't wait to finish work. Like I really did a great job, and I'm patting myself on the back for it, and when I went home, I got some fucking fast food on my way home, put my feet up on the Tammy's aunt and uncle came and gave us a present. We brought them their present. They just stopped for a second or two, and I put my feet up, and I just loved it. I don't have to be at work for like a week and a half now, and I just deserve it. Self,
absolutely
control, and I'm not my best, you know what I mean? But my best there in that moment of wanting to take care of myself.
Well, two things. First, before you get off the challenge, is that
oh yeah, sorry,
I think
I don't do that.
I think it's going to be very hard time for anybody in the office to compete with anybody on the floor.
Okay, you're right. I'm glad I didn't get up
Number
because that's why I wanted to know. Because I fucking do 12,000 steps, no problem.
Yeah, easy. I was looking at when I got the email, I was talking to Selena about it, and I was looking at my history of the amount of distance I do in a day just at work, and it's usually like 14 to 20 kilometers a day.
So me too.
They have no chance.
So this is what I was told. I don't want to do it to win. Part of me want to be a little bit, okay, I get it.
Let's kill them. Let's show them that we work way more than them. They're probably like, okay, all I got to do is get 10,000 steps. And we're like, okay, if I get 10,000 steps, that's a slow day.
You best be fucking, because you're going to have to be here doing all your fucking gay weights and all that shit. Because you don't do any lifting or moving out. Not any. You do less shit.
No.
Then I'm going to have to do, especially with this heavy. It's not just that I'm picking something up. It's how much fucking heavy, you know what I mean? That's how it moves my fat heart and all these other things, right? How, like, comparatively, right? It's how much effort I'm putting in.
They don't realize that.
No. So you're right. But also, because of the hip thing and doing that, I can't do I don't do the treadmill anymore. And I don't, we talked way before, like, how much is in my head. I'm not pushing through pain and all that. But what I'm willing to do back when the New Year's and fighting against the New Year's resolution part is like get back on that bike. And I've complained about not having the balls enough to do my exercises in the morning before I go to work, and I've done it before and I can do it. So I see this vision. It might take something as gay as this, work challenge to be like, oh, I don't want to look like a bitch. Like, I'll do this will make me do my exercises before I go to work. Mm-hmm. Like these, when I was at my best and I would talk to people like Grant, just like random guy working, fucking son-in-law of the boss. He's like, I have an opinion of him for a long time. Sorry, Grant, if you ever hear this, but it's changed. He is who he is.
Yeah.
He's been the same person I've known for a long time. I can't hate somebody who's privileged to be who I think he is.
Never mind.
Right? It's fine.
Yep.
But when I was at my best and I was telling him I was running 2 miles after work, he was like, wow. Like, he saw me go from being super fat to not. And so he was like, that other guys aren't doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing, right? Not everybody is doing the things that you've done or that people do on a regular basis.
You do on a very dedicated.
Mine's in spurts. I'm not dedicated as Jay. You've done things for like a year. I've never worked out for a year in my whole life. Never worked out for a year straight. Never.
Yeah. Well, that's because you haven't had to. That's a necessity thing.
True.
You don't want to.
But it's also a dedication thing.
Yes, but you go through. Like I said, you didn't drink for your first days of holidays. I'm fucking 15 minutes into my fucking holidays. I had beer with my Harveys. Like I didn't have, you know what I mean? Like it was on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like diving in. And so, but I was also like, putting on a big fucking pair of pants afterwards, like it's my big boy pants. So, but anyway, to get back to the challenge, this is something somebody like me should just embrace. Like, don't be such a fucking, don't be so, don't get in your own way. You know what I mean? Like, you want to get fitter. You want to do it. You think like New Year's resolutions is gay and the social committee that you're on is gay, but they decided, let's do it January 1st or 4th or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, fuck. Now I got to get my watch back on. I got to get the glass fixed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to fit the fitness app and I could kill this. I might even get in a version of just exercising in the morning and getting, if I want to know that if bike steps work. So if work steps work, then being on a bike would work too. They can't expect us to go outside for a winter walk on January 4th.
Yeah, they do.
So it has to be I was hoping that there wasn't a Jeep. I'm glad that fucking Mo is on top of this. I wanted to talk to him this week. You know how gay this is? Because we had that football conversation at the Christmas party, and I wanted to tell him about Tammy came in 14th out of 5,500 people. Yeah. She won $150. If I mentioned it last week, it doesn't matter. I mentioned it again. It's one of the most impressive fucking things I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
And so he would appreciate it too. So that's weird because you would want to think, oh, this HR guy, he doesn't swing a hammer. He doesn't do this. He's whatever, like looking for this libtard angle. Like, what is this guy? But he's not.
No.
It's not just that. He's like, you know what I mean? He's actually looking out for your human best interest or something, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, he actually does work.
Well, that's a lot of like work-related fucking shit. But anyway, you should just. I can't believe you're not enjoying not being there as much as you should.
I don't know. Jay, I haven't worked as long as you, right? I haven't.
Yes, that's
I
could be it,
haven't
Brian.
worked as
That
long
could be
as you.
it.
You got burnt. You're getting to the point where you're burnt out about it.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm really trying to start
That's
running
fucking
now.
funny.
So I personally don't really care to be at work. I don't mind being at work at this point.
Just burnout. How does fuck? How do you avoid a burnout
You can't.
about anything?
I don't think you
How do you
can.
get a fresh look at something? I've never been
7-year itch.
You're the type of guy that has
7-year
that
itch.
limit.
That's how you do it.
I think it's yeah, I think it's hard. Like I don't want to compare it to something that's benign as like TV shows or something like living your life, like how you take care of yourself or whatever. I think the burnout part comes as just like I don't want to dedicate my thought or how much time I have left to that.
But you could also be like tired of doing the thing that you've been doing for so long. Like when I talk to Ron on a regular basis, he'll be like, man, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Like I've been doing this so long. I'm just sick of it. That's burnt out. Like you just don't, it's not even that he doesn't mind coming to work, but doing the same shit and doing like curry, because he's been doing a lot of curry his whole career. He's just like, I just don't even want to see these things anymore. He's so burnt out of that particular thing.
Interesting. You know what? I can see, you can see it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you hear it and just like it makes sense. That's why I don't like to work to live.
Mm.
Like I just like to work to get, like he's so good at what he does. Like when he talks about, sorry Ron, maybe you'll never hear this. There's that like he just put his shit out on Indeed just to see what kind of job he can get closer to home. Right? He's got his whole family thing going on. Like he's changed, he's softened in a way, but he's as dedicated to that company as you are.
Oh yeah.
In a way.
Even if he won't admit it.
Even if he won't admit it, right? Yep. Like he'll do that. He'll just put up with that burnout part, you know what I mean? Like to do it. He's a really good conversationalist because he's not gonna, like, even with me, like we're talking about, like he was complaining like his wife wanted more money for Christmas, right? And he's like, I put $4,000. Sorry, I'm putting all his. He put a certain amount of money in his fucking wife's. And she's like, I want more. She's like, I told you, this is what it is. And they got grandkids coming out of the fucking ad and all that, and he won't admit how much he embraces that. Like he will, right? But I've known it for so long, I can call him out on that shit, and he'll admit it to me or whatever. And so he's like, that's it. And I'm like, yeah, you got more willpower than me. Like I don't look at my bank account. He goes, yeah, that's why I hate the debit card. And he goes, like, I go, that's why I fucking use my credit card too much. Like never mind the debit card. And he's like, yeah, fuck that. And so I was like, yeah, fuck him. I don't give a fuck. Like they're bailing out those bankers, like throwing me up. And he's like, he's comparing me to Trudeau, but he's not like a fucking hockey stick Canadian flag waving fuck Trudeau kind of thing. He's just like, yeah, you fucking, whatever, right? And we can have that. We can be different and just enjoy the same space.
Yeah.
And so he's really good at that. So he hides that aspect. Like he puts that away. He doesn't like, and I think that's probably why I get caught up in when I take over for a job for him. It's like, why do you do it like this way, bro? Like, why do you? And he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, just like, I'm going to get you to this point, and you take the rest of it over, and the truck will eventually get done. And so I think I concentrate on the details too much. But
yeah, I get that sometimes when I'm editing podcasts. Like I really just get burnt out. Like I remember sometimes recently I've had to catch myself. And because I'm just like, man, I'm not even going to do this. This is going to take too much work. Like I'll edit it, but I'm like, I'm not going to do this part of editing, or I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to freaking, but I'd be like, you know what? You have to put out something proper, because you're going to be more mad at yourself if you put out something and it sounds like shit. And then you're going to be sitting there for like a week or possibly 2 weeks for the next one to come out and be like, shit, I need to put out something better to cover the crap that you put out before. Granted, nobody's listening and saying, oh yeah, I can hear that minute frequency that you didn't cut out and there's buzzing there. I don't like it. But I hear it. So when I get burnt out, I just rather not do anything at all.
That's the true definition, I think, of burnt out. I think when you
some people will just do it and half-ass it, or like you said about Ron, like, why do you do it this way? It's because he doesn't care. For certain things, I just can't do it. I just can't do that.
You're right. I've always considered myself the fucking master of half-assery, but the
master of half-assery.
You write that down. You're gonna get that down.
Yeah. I should write that. I'm gonna write that down right now. I'm actually writing this down.
But I think it's whatever you concentrate on, whatever you're half-assing. You were saying, like, giving me props, like, oh, you did something for over a year to make yourself healthier. It's that you don't. you're in that middle of like, notice you're not burnt out. You realize like, oh, if I see like a positive aspect on going on the scale on the Wednesday, and I've woken up and done exercise before I go to work, it's because you know what, at 10 o'clock in the morning you felt a little looser because you did the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're not concentrating on like staying in bed for an extra 10 minutes and how warm and fuzzy it is. You're just like, you know what, the day's already started. Like you do it, and what I try to do is you make sure you make yourself proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
What a hard ass like you can come across as maybe sometimes it's like, no, this is what you have to do as a man, a human, is it's like, yeah, you get up and you work out before you go, and this is how you go. I can't, like, I think I coddle myself more to be like, no, like, do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the whole like David Goggins thing. It's like, don't hurt yourself for not doing it. But that's a motivation.
It is a motivation.
It's not like fat shaming. It's just like, no, I don't want you to feel this way. Like, look yourself in the mirror hard. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's hard to make somebody do if they're not ready to do it. That's where the bullying part might come in.
Yeah.
But you just know that you should bully yourself in that way.
Yeah.
Right. Like right now, I've caught up in more of I'm not bullying myself. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to do it. Way back in this conversation, when the challenge thing comes up for work, it's like, oh, you know what? If they count all my fucking 12,000, 14,000 steps at work, and I'm at my 2 mile, my buddy Grant is even noticing I'm on my 2 mile treadmill. Nobody else is doing that at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
yeah,
people
exactly.
I'll show these people, you know what I mean? My determination. Again, like, I guess part of it is that. Or it's like, oh, this is motivation for yourself to start doing that. Exactly. So the second I saw that flyer,
get you into it.
and should I get my watch fixed? Will they count bike steps? Because maybe now I'll work it and then go on the bike for 45 minutes afterwards.
I doubt they're going to count bike steps.
It counts on the watch.
Oh, okay, then they'll count bike steps.
Well, this is what I was curious about. I'm going to talk to Mo.
Yeah,
Mo is going to, Mo will get it down.
You should actually talk to Ashley, but...
Who is Ashley?
She's the marketer. She's the marketer, and she's the head of the social committee.
Okay. Anyway, so that was going on. Enough fucking, I can't believe we all had all this work. We even had extra work-related stuff going on. Did you get any extra TV kind of watching? We've been a little slow on the TV watching. I've watched that whole Dutch show. What was it called? Like a nearly normal family?
Oh shit, I forgot about that show.
Yeah, I'm not here to call. It wasn't that great.
What? You didn't like it?
No, part of it was kind of predictable. Okay, let's talk through this.
Okay, let's go through it.
It kind of felt underwhelming. It didn't end positively.
Well,
I was hoping that
neither did Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but that was okay. Well,
positive ending doesn't mean it's a good ending.
No, but it made me sad from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like in a weird, foreign, low-key, like depression. It was just like depressing with no positivity. I hated the mom and the dad.
So, okay.
I hated the mom and the dad.
First. Just because it's not positive doesn't mean it's bad.
Okay,
nobody says TV shows and movies have to be positive, right?
Forget I said that.
It takes a lot to invoke, and that's what I like. It takes a lot to invoke a certain emotion from somebody. It made you feel depressed. It made you feel sad, and that's what the director was going for. He didn't do it by accident. He said, I'm going to make my audience feel sad, and this whole thing. If you notice, the color grading on that movie is very... Like, it's very drab. Exactly. That's done on purpose. It's not done by accident. It's to make you feel that way. That's why it's a good show. That's why it's edited, done well. And it is, well, yeah, it's edited well and color corrected well. So they accomplished a lot of what they wanted to do.
You talked emotion stuff there for a second too, and thought wise, but you went directly to technical stuff.
Of course.
But that's not why I watch shows.
But you don't realize it's a subconscious thing.
But I think that gives you reason to prop up a show more than I would.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make you recognize that, so you watch shows. That's fine.
You can tell me. You'd have to hammer it home. Yeah, you have to bring it up again.
It's more conversation for our show.
That's good. Well, this all comes into why I'm starting to realize everything has everything involved.
Yeah,
right. Like even way down this side. Please get me off topic again. But even when it comes to how previews of shows, like when they go to a commercial, coming up next is like the highlights of the next 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Like, you're showing the best parts. But it's because as a collective, we're supposed to, I think, to understand that we're not paying that much attention.
That's exactly what it is.
But I'm paying attention. or
I know.
whatever.
So the people who pay attention hate it, and the people who
they don't
aren't,
give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like
So then it doesn't matter. The art doesn't matter at that point.
Well,
it's all about
for certain shows it doesn't
You're
matter.
right. So, but I felt, yeah, it was too artsy then. Like it had too much of that.
It's not. All movies
it had too
are
much
artsy.
of that. There was no redemption for anybody.
It doesn't need redemption.
Even the poor girl. Like, you know what I mean? They had that happen to her. Her parents never recognized it.
They did. They just chose to do a different way because they felt like, right or wrong, there's a lot of moral dilemmas in this show, right? It's really a show about moral dilemmas because what do the parents do? So she gets raped, and the one who's a lawyer who understands how everything is going to work says, well, if we do this, there's going to be no outcome, and she's going to have to go through this whole system, and it's going to hurt her more. And the dad, who's a priest, who is on the good side of things, like lawyers are typically bad, priests are typically good. He's saying, no, we have to do with it no matter what. We have to protect our daughter in this way. And she says, well, I am protecting her because I know how this shit works. And he's like this. So that was that rift. Turns out she ended up going through that whole situation anyways, right?
I think it's a fool's game to not let I understand the mother's way not to protect her, like do all that, but she turned her into a murderer.
She did.
And justified. Like, again, that's even a moral dilemma. Like, of course you should have murdered that person.
Exactly, right?
I get it, but you're not, like, not everybody can be Batman. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
it's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. That's where it comes down to. But also her feelings. Like, by hiding what her girl's, sorry to say it's okay, her truth.
Yeah.
Like, by not allowing her to go through the bullshit trial. Right? In my mind, I thought I guess I was so angry at the decision to gloss over it, that it turned, and coming from a broken family more than yours, although everybody's got their own shit, is that it broke the family. The family was done at that moment.
At that moment, and they were already having little issues.
It was done. And that could have happened anyway.
For sure.
But it was an example of, like, this family was destined to lose.
Yep.
Right? And so should this girl exists. And so to suppress her pain at that moment, right? Like, really, even if it was for nothing, like, even if at first I thought the guy she ended up killing was the guy that raped her.
So I thought that too. In the beginning, I thought, like, yeah.
I was like, is this the same guy that looks different? They had a different name or something?
But, you know.
It was just a proxy of.
Yes,
It was like another rapist. Let's kill him, whatever.
Yeah.
But even that's complicated. Like, how much of it was her friend's fault? You know what I mean? Like, again, or is it what she was wearing that night? Like, all that stupid talk.
Right.
Right. And I hate that. Like, the individual gets to be an individual. Mm-hmm. And there's the rest is kind of just talk. So it just made me, there was no positive. You know what I mean? Like, there was no.
Of course, it was meant to be
even
positive.
You telling me how you brought it up is like, oh, it made me think of it more in a, like, artistic way, like that purposeful way. I don't know. But it was just more of, like, I didn't. The Breaking Bad sad universe or other universes weren't as or whatever. Were more appealing to me.
They had bigger budgets. And stuff. This is like, you're talking, when you get to do something like this, when you can have a show like this, that we've already had 2 decent small conversations about the artistic choice and the moral dilemmas of the show.
That's funny.
And they probably had like such a small budget. There was no famous actors in there or actresses. The cameras weren't that great. Like, they were basically all shot around the same type of scenes in rooms, so pretty easy to shoot. Like, you know, nothing that you had to do anything too complicated. They had a small budget, and they were still able to which was like one of the top 10 trending on Netflix, right?
And a foreign show.
And a foreign show on top of that. And they were able to have all these sorts of situations and conversations. Like, even at the end, the dilemma of the mom doing her lawyer thing to get her daughter off. Like, there was a lot of these choices that people were making. I think her mom was doing that off of redemption because she kind of felt guilty of where it went. And so she tried everything she could to save her daughter.
You know what's so deep ingrained into me, whatever, too much therapy going on here is the thing. I think it was harder for me to forgive her for being a bad parent when she needed to be.
But was she being a bad
I don't know.
parent?
You're right. That's why it's good art, because the question is still there.
Because everything she was saying in the beginning was correct. There's no way that he would not have got
I
convicted
understand,
from that.
but
he would have not. They could
she
have
felt unheard. I didn't feel for the father
I
at the
agree.
time. I felt for the daughter the whole time. I mean, I'm sure he wants that.
Yes.
Right? Like she's the one who's a forgot, but how many all the forgotten victims out there type of thing, right? Like that's probably part of the shit too. You're right. I didn't give it it might have been because it had no hype to it. It might be why like the CFL is better than NFL, but it has zero commercial,
hype.
like to it. Like give me the hype.
We're gonna cut the third quarter to start this NFL game.
Yeah. Who watches real wrestling compared to fucking WWF?
Right?
Like, no, you want the fucking hype. You want the steroids, motherfucker. Like,
exactly.
But it's odd. Everything that you brought up about the show was nothing I really thought of. I would never said out loud until hearing you say it.
Yeah.
You saying all the scenes being in the same way, the budget. I never bring that into the effect.
Yeah.
I only bring it into effect in a negative way when like a super big Prime Amazon Prime show is big budgeted and flops.
And it's crap. And you're like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
That kind of stuff makes me mad. When people have these massive budgets, I'm like, this is what you do?
So this is different. Take a side show. I watched it. I appreciate it. You're making me think about it more. We totally fucking spoiler alert for it, but we talked about it way before.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter. They'll get it. Fast forward. So what we never talked about is done now, and if you either watched it now or you haven't, it was the Squid Games.
Yes.
On Netflix. So is that that seems to me like a huge big budget endeavor. Is that a big budget show or a low budget show?
That was a big budget show. That was a Netflix bought the rights to Squid Games, even though they owned it.
So did Netflix produce the show?
They produced this one. The movie they didn't produce.
No, I get it. I'm sorry, I get it.
Right? So they got the rights, so they said, what are we going to do with it?
So what did you think of the Netflix, the new one?
I thought it was good. I thought it was like, that's what you should do. That's what a Squid Games show, and they added enough twist in there to make it interesting. Like, I thought it was good.
I think it was I hope they do more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the more they do it, just like Survivor, Big Brother, and Challenge, is like it'll evolve to something different. We initially talked about before is like, what did you think of how they would try to get alliances in like with over 400 people in like the competition? It's so hard to. There's a lot of randomness.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think there was more alliance building than a lot randomness.
Yeah, I think the fault with having alliances in this show is that you don't know what's going, like in other shows, reality competition shows like this, you can benefit from your alliance. But in this show, your alliance can absolutely hurt you. Oh yeah, this is going to be my partner. And then you're playing the marble game with them. You know what I mean? Or, I'm not going to vote for this person. And then you roll a dice and they say the only person not voted is going out or whatever it is. It seems like they put an effort into causing some sort of like a chaos type thing.
I think the worst part about the show was how they tried to edit the alliance, like the in between the competitions. Like it was still good, and because they make a narrative, right? Like they have hours and hours of footage they try to do.
Yeah,
they know who's going to win before they even start the whole show. So you wonder who's got screen time. I've watched enough Survivor, Big Brother. Like, oh, this person's got screen time. They're about to go. Whatever.
Yeah. You feel it.
You feel it, right? And so like, and the bigger it is, say like on the challenge, which is killing it this year, I think too. The more people that are in it, if they focus on 5 or 6 people out of 30, it's like, oh, those other people, there's no way that they're going to be thrown in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be within this handful of people. So how do you handful of people within 450?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what's really good is the challenges. I don't know, I think as far as it goes, the further it goes, I want to see more hard ass, selfish people, right? Like it seems to be a little bit more kumbaya than I thought would happen.
I agree.
I mean, it's hard when you break up when the Survivor challengers, I guess more survivors. Like if you try to be a leader, you're going to get marked out early.
Yep. But if you be hated, I think you're going to get marked out early too. You're going to have to find somebody who's going to play that middle you're going to have to find a good player.
What was weird, what's I kind of think is what trying to be selfish is so one of the better games, I mean they're all good, what I can think of right now is that the glass bridge where each person has to take their turn and you randomly get like selected, right? And then you have to go. When the chick refused to go,
I was mad at her.
I was furious.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Were you more
fuck?
mad at her or the person that let her get away with it?
I was mad at both. I'm just thinking like, okay, we all agree to this thing and I get it. You're playing your own game here, but don't be a dick. If you agree to it, then and everybody agrees to it, you just play within the rules. Like, I don't know. I guess because I don't know. I just feel like you should, if that's the rules, if you guys make these rules, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, but the rules are meant to be broken. And like, so I agree. I think everybody, I would be surprised if nobody else thought that way too.
Mm-hmm.
And in just talking about it, I'm wondering like in this survival instinct type of way, it's like, yeah, somebody's going to go after me.
Yeah.
The problem is she eventually did try and made it.
Yeah, she did.
Like, that's the thing. Like, where do you give that redemption?
I don't.
Did so you never redeemed
Nope,
her
I was
afterwards?
hoping she was going to get out ever since that moment.
So when that maid chick threw her into the, you know what I mean? It didn't work for her, but she was like, she was thinking like you and I.
I wasn't mad at her at all.
Yeah, but it didn't end up fucking her over, but it called her out as the only one who didn't sacrifice herself at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And even the glass bridge chick, when she did it with the dice, she sacrificed herself too. So she was already over her selfishness. But I didn't get over her selfishness.
Neither did I. I was like, when they started that, I said, they better vote for this chick because she needs to go.
So how mad are you at them for not doing the right thing? I think so years later, they're going to do more of that. There will be less self-sacrificing going on.
Yeah,
it was like,
I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that if that's what everybody's doing. That's why when you said about the kumbaya thing, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that so much. No, all of you guys aren't going to win.
But I think that makes us not going to win either.
Yeah,
I think you have to be kumbaya.
You have to have a balance.
Yeah, and I don't know how. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if. So what I didn't like about the movie was the forced narrative. I like the whole idea of doing the games, taking these people out of debt, and all this kind of weird like shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like, and then like Mr. Beast did the thing on that. So this was like a huge giant leap compared to what he did on YouTube.
Yep.
So I'm almost ready to see. I wonder if they'll change the games. Like they did all the kind of iconic games.
I think they're gonna have to keep the staples. And like, because people are gonna practice the stuff now, but there's some games you can't. You can't practice that glass floor game, right? You can practice the cookie game thing, kind of.
Well, that's pretty impressive how good they were at the cookie game.
Yeah, you can't practice the red light, green light. So have you seen anything about the red light, green light?
What do you mean?
So I was watching interviews from people after the show, and like they would stand in one spot for like 40 minutes. It wasn't like that. It wasn't quick. The game took like all day to do.
Interesting.
Right?
Why wouldn't they tell us that?
I don't know. So
they were like, it doesn't matter if we know that.
They were like that's why the game was so hard. It wasn't like 5 minutes.
It wasn't that you didn't stop the second you were supposed to. You couldn't stay stopped for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So then
interesting.
You would go down.
You know what? That makes more sense of why some people, like the older people or people that look like, why did they make it and this other person didn't?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's why I was wondering, why are people lying on the ground?
Well, I heard there was all kinds of bullshit about people like suing the production company.
Really?
Yeah, about like they were like exposed to hypothermia.
Don't go on the show. Though.
I heard, this was like a week ago when Tammy and I talked about it. It's like even the winner hadn't even received her check yet.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what's up with that?
Who knows?
Why would they even fuck around with that kind of bad publicity?
Yeah, 400,000?
No,
4.5 million.
4.5 million.
Maybe Netflix just doesn't want to give it up.
They got all of her money. Did you watch the Big Brother reindeer games?
No, I didn't.
How come?
I don't know.
Just because you hatred of the All-Star kind of shows?
We watched. I don't know. I think we were watching other stuff. Like we were watching some movies. We watched a couple movies. We watched. It's Christmas season, so I really get into rom-coms. So I watch a lot of rom-coms and Christmas
rom-coms. Not drinking,
rom-coms.
working out, and watching rom-coms. Who is this guy?
Seriously, it's like I get addicted around this time just watching rom-coms and Christmas.
Gay Christmas ones or just general?
All of them, but mostly
old
gay
school
Christmas ones.
Oh, gay Christmas ones, brand new. Are these
I prefer to watch brand new. I prefer to watch the.
So
new.
Is this like the Hallmark Channel or the Direct Women's Channel?
Anything, Netflix, Amazon Prime, freaking like when I go through the list and I've seen all the old ones, I know I have a problem.
Have you watched Jingle All the Way yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna
Oh,
watch it with the
shit.
kids though. Probably.
Nice.
I love that
nice.
movie.
Listen, man, they're popular for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't begrudge.
They're all the same, but hey.
What about? So I'm not. So you won't. So it's done now.
Who won?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Nicole.
Which Nicole?
See, you don't know how. Why would you ask who won if you
Which
don't even know?
Nicole?
Nicole, who's married to he's like a news anchor now. He's another popular. I can't remember her husband's name. She married another Big Brother contestant. Nicole, who won. She was with Frankie in one of his seasons. She's a blonde.
Yeah, I know who you're
blonde.
talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was her and Taylor were the last two at the end.
Oh,
she knocked
shit.
out Xavier and Taylor for
Seriously?
semifinal and her final. She knocked out Josh.
Really?
So this is another fucking
Was
stupid
it
thing. So
good?
Josh was so annoying to watch. Like I was almost wouldn't make you watch because this fucking guy's on. And every time he'd start talking, I was fucking rolling
And
my
obviously
eyes.
he was on for a long time.
So this was really just like a Christmas. So it was they probably filmed it within a couple of days and just like rolled it out for like 2 weeks or whatever.
More than one episode's a long time. For
Josh. I hear you. I was upset, but it's not too bad to hate. What I get it. I get it. But part of me was like, this bitch he probably got more money to be on this Big Brother Christmas show than being on the challenge. Because the challenge, which I would want to talk about, is really good this year, and it's all about people who haven't won, and he hasn't won. So he did not go on the only show he ever should have gone on.
Yeah.
And he went on the Big Brother Christmas special instead.
And
that's
lost.
why he's not on the challenge.
Good, thank God.
I know, I get it, but he should have been like, out of all those idiots, him and Fessy and people like that, they should be on the ones that haven't won yet.
Yeah.
Right? They have challenge vet cred without earning the challenge vet cred. They're no Jordan or Torian. But anyway, so it was just, so he was on it, Frankie, like a few other Big Brother legends. And it was kind of a sped up version. It was a lot of bullshit, but they really had to this was like micro alliance and micro like social game stuff. It wasn't like the whole long game of what Big Brother really is.
Yeah.
But it was also really fluffy. And so Josh was his normal annoying self. It ended up being in like Nicole, this little fucking tiny blonde chick, got thrown into a physical challenge with Josh where they had to hold this spinning candy cane thing going on. And they're fucking grabbing for dear life. They both kind of fell at the same time, but he fell before her. So it was like amazing to watch. He got knocked out by her. And then Xavier won the last power. And so he picked Nicole to go against, had a 30-second advantage to go against her in this, those games where you have to put gears like on a wall and eventually but anyway, so she kicked his ass on that.
Wow.
And then anyway, she kicked
why would
Taylor.
you pick her?
Because her other choices were Frankie and Taylor, and they're both comp beasts.
Oh yeah.
And he thought she would be the easiest to go. That's the funniest. You think you'd be all buff and
I don't know if I would pick Nicole though. She was already on twice.
yeah, and won.
Yeah, like I would not go against
It was
her.
it was a bad mistake.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
make
whatever.
any
So it
sense.
was all kind of good. The good guys won in the end. It was fun to watch.
I don't even like Nicole, but
I hear you. You know what's annoying is, I don't know. So I like Frankie more than I should. Frankie Grande or whatever his name. Yeah, he was interesting. He's got whatever. For a TV character watching kind of he has it all. I'm annoyed at Taylor more than I think I should be. She's so cocky. It's like she comes in, she knows she's won already, and she's like she thinks she's like this puppet master, and she is. And it's like, I don't know. It's just something I don't want to give the props that they deserve to have. So, but whatever. It's not something I would recommend it or whatever. But have you watched the challenge? The last bit of TV thing in here, maybe?
I think we are probably one episode back. We didn't watch this week if there was this week.
Yeah, I wonder if there's one. I hope there's one this week too. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I love the challenge.
Yeah.
I love the challenge.
I like how they have it there, but I was only bringing it up that I knew that's why Josh is in there.
Thank God. That was the best gift Big Brother has ever given me.
Total side pivot. I have no old man doesn't understand Twitter. Well, I do. I'm nothing but old man doesn't understand Twitter. I heard this question. I know what would you want? So if you were offered these two different choices, speaking of a Squid Games type of thing.
A moral dilemma.
That's not really a moral dilemma. So would you want $1 million guaranteed? For some reason, somebody said to you, you can have $1 million guaranteed. Say you won the Squid Games.
Okay.
Right? Or something like that, Big Brother. You can have $1 million guaranteed or this 50-50 shot at 50 million.
But what's a 50-50 shot? Like, it depends on what it is.
Like there's a dice that has 1 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 1, 2, or 3, you get 50 million. If it's 4, 5, or 6, you get nothing. Or you have $1 million and we can just sign the papers and walk away.
I'd probably take the mill.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know who would take the 50 million.
Some people. So I watched, so this week, Selena put on this random, we were in bed and she put on this random game show. It's called Press Your Luck.
Oh, that's an old school game.
Yeah, but it's like a new show.
Mm.
And so it's like, well, it's been out a couple of years, apparently, by how they were talking. So this one I watched was they did it, you know, you can, if you get the whammy, so you know the show.
I know the whammy. No whammies.
No
Stop.
whammies. Yep.
Big bucks.
So they do that. And so there was this guy, he gets to the end, right? And so he there's the 5 levels at the end. And so he gets no whammies up to level like 4. No, he got to level 4 and that's where he stopped. And I was thinking like, I would have stopped at like 200,000. Like he got 200,000. I'm like, bro, like you got to get out of here. He ended up winning like 500 and something, 400 and something thousand. And I was just thinking like, holy, like I would have been out because the whammies and you lose all your money and all your gifts and everything. I'm not that type of a person. I would have gone a little bit and then been like, okay, this is enough. I'm out of here.
I am too. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
fuck
like with that $1 million question, I don't know where the scale starts. Like back in the day, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire type of show was like how you would do like 4 or 5 questions,
Yeah.
right? And then get to like a guaranteed,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, no matter what, you could be an idiot. So you got like $10,000, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Then so, okay, next we'll go to 20. So do you want to go? Do you want to get to the so you can see the guarantee of say $75,000. So you know what? These are easy questions. Like I'll do it 10,000. Like I came, so I can see that. Then you get to the 75 mark, right? And then obviously you're safe there. So the next level is 250, right? Say, oh, I got to get 3 questions, and then they lower the questions, right?
Yeah.
Like take you 5, then 4, then 3 or whatever, and then so it's like, you know what? Okay, first question is that's no pressure. Even as a viewer, I can remember watching something like that, going like, oh, no problem. I'll answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to like fucking, okay, you win, okay, you get the next one, you have 150,000 now, right? Do you want to go for 250 or do you want to go like right there? I'm done.
I'm done at 150.
Yeah, but that's why we would never make TV.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think that we're
Our
made for
episodes
TV.
would not be on.
When I see somebody do that, like I think they're caught up in the moment of being on TV,
Yeah.
right? That's what they want.
And there's a lot of energy.
Oh, but I'm discounting the energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like I'm
energy.
discounting the energy of this is my moment.
Yeah.
When could I make $150,000
Right?
in one question?
When I was watching that Push Your Luck, I was looking at the audience and people are like fanning themselves and shit. And I'm like, you guys aren't even pushing the button. Like, what are you
That's so
talking
fucking
about?
hilarious.
So I don't know. I could take the 1 mil and, you know, just be a lot more careful than I would be if I had 50 mil.
I think so. Well,
Going home with nothing would be.
$1 million is a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know where the question goes.
I mean, is it?
People dream. You know what I mean? Like that's a silly thing. You can
People's-
turn millions
People's
into.
houses are $1 million now.
I hear you. It's not what it used to be.
Regular.
But that would be a fool's errand. Like I can just imagine, like you just take the gift horse
Yeah.
without fucking looking at it. And
No.
like,
Take the mill and run.
yeah, see, so I get that. That's hilarious. I thought of that thing there. I
So-
don't know.
So you saw this question on Twitter?
Yeah.
Did anybody say they would take the 50?
I don't believe. I bet you they did. Like
Mhm.
you know what? That's the kind of thing I don't put too much stock into what the answers are because it's all theoretical,
Yeah.
right? Like I was thinking of more this Squid Games type of way of just like, sure, you're down to like the 12 people, like you're on that bridge, right? And however, like what there's 30 people or something. That's why I want to hate the girl for not doing her part, but like. When am I ever going to get this chance?
That's true.
Like you guys, I'm going to get brought in to the fucking flow of humanity because none of you, the 25 people behind me are not going to let this happen.
Yep.
And I still get brought in. That's how you know what I mean? Like how I can win this game. Or I could be like the people, the guy who everybody loved. His mom was in the fucking show.
Yeah.
Oh, Chuck,
Yeah.
see you later. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
And so nobody cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like that guy's not, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have $1 million.
Yeah.
Never mind $4 million.
Yeah.
So, but when it didn't matter for this particular case. This is why I think she did the right. And she moved on, but it still didn't matter because we just remember her not. I think the second she decided, she should never have moved up.
Mhm.
She should just stick to your guns.
Should have stayed there the whole time.
Because it didn't cost her anything to do that move.
Yeah.
It made her survive.
Yeah.
And they would have done it. But the problem in the game was, and it didn't do it this good, was that there was a price to pay for not conforming to the masses in a way.
Mhm.
Right? Like she didn't get called out on it enough, but some people did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like whenever, I don't know, I can't think of the example, but when people got to choose who they're going to vote for, they kind of hid behind the group in a way. Oh, this person was already chosen.
Yeah.
Or they picked this guy because they wanted to.
That's, yeah, like
That was randomish in a way, but how do you know what I mean? Like,
it felt like, I've kind of felt like there was like a disconnect in strategy throughout the whole game.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
I understand
It's
what you're
like,
trying to say.
it's like, come on, like you have this person that you want to get out and then you just don't try to get them out.
Yeah, I don't. But I appreciate the effort.
For sure.
Like, I appreciate that. I liked it better than the show.
Absolutely.
And I see that. I don't know other than Christmas shows. We're not like in the rom-com area like you are. Although, other than the, what the fuck? You know what I am having? This is not. Christmas has turned into like a sports bonanza. Like the NBA used to like own, for whatever reason, like own. When I was a kid, there was nothing happening on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
First of all, there was no Sunday shopping. Never mind. Christmas Day was like sacrilegious to have anything open.
Yeah.
Max Milk, maybe. You know, like fucking
Max.
shout out to Becker's too.
Yeah, Beckers.
You know Becker's?
I know Beckers.
Ah, shit. Good for you. That's why I said Max Milk. I said this. I had to pull up that because he wouldn't know what Becker's was. What the fuck was I gonna say? What was I fucking saying?
There was
So I
nothing
got all
on
caught up in
Christmas.
fucking Becker's.
Now NBA has like
Oh
a
shit!
Christmas
So this is
Day
like a sports
games.
bonanza.
Yeah.
Like Danny, my buddy Danny at work, we love betting. He bets for me when I'm out of the country, and so he came to say goodbye before he left. I was still working, and I was like, "Oh, you're not here tomorrow?" He goes, "No, fuck." He goes, "I even took Tuesday off after the holidays." I'm like,
Yeah.
He goes, "I can't wait." This is part of why I dove into finishing work yesterday. Sorry, excuse me. More editing for you. He was like, I can't wait to go home and watch the football game. And the Leafs are on and just fucking, and I'm going to bet this, I'm going to bet that. And I'm like, yeah, Danny, you're right. He goes, you know what? We'll talk. You know what I mean? We'll text. We barely text, but we do occasionally and this and that. So I was like fucking, like usually like Super Bowl shit, whatever. But it'll be about football and betting and shit. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll bet. So before I did the game started, I did my bets and I texting back and forth with him. And I go, oh, my boy Danny, he's back at home with his fucking beer, his feet up, watching this. I ended up losing. I did a better week last week when I wasn't drinking. But the thought of me just sitting in that chair enjoying it was fucking great. But yeah, like it went from, I'd hate to, they get compensated very well. But the NBA has been doing this like Christmas Day basketball thing for years.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that. It wasn't like,
No.
do you always remember it?
No.
It's not a big deal. They try to make it a big deal.
They put good games on,
I
like
remember
games that would be good games.
The Raptors were on it once.
Yep.
Like the year after they won the championship, they got blown out by the Celtics. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's always the big teams going
LA,
at
New
it.
York, Brooklyn, you know.
But the NFL is starting to take them over.
Yeah.
They have zero agreement. The only agreement in the NFL, which is a Amazon-like fucking monstrosity that takes shit over because their ratings kill basketball.
Yeah. In North America.
You'd be surprised about the world.
I mean,
You would. You're right. You're right. I think you're
NBA
right.
is way more global than the NFL. Way more global. Like there's like, yeah.
This is sidebar. The NBA, so the NFL does more out of country games during the regular season. They
For
had
sure.
3 games in London this year and a game in Germany.
Oh, that's it? The NBA does way more than, well,
No.
preseason. They do a lot of preseason stuff. But there isn't an Olympic football team. There isn't like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like
So they're trying to do that.
Basketball is already worldwide.
So LA, they have Olympic football. It's flag football is in the Olympics.
Is in the Olympics, yeah. But that's not the same though.
It's definitely not the same. It's a walk-in. But the undeniable part of it is for a gambler like me or just a guy that's like sitting on the couch watching shit is I love it. I think I'm happy for it, but it's just like when did it start? You know what I mean? Like it's now it's like ubiquitous. Like Christmas Day NBA,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. You don't have to know when it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it was dark.
I don't really
Like it was
remember.
like ever dark. And then there was never like long time ago there was no Monday Night Football. Then Monday Night Football became a thing, and now it's like Monday night. You don't put your brand new show up against Monday Night Football in America.
Yeah, of course not.
Right? Like, but other people do. They'll put The Bachelor or other kind of shows up like that or whatever.
But it's different audience, so.
NFL had an agreement with college football, which is its own fucking evil empire,
Oh God.
that they wouldn't play Saturday because that's college days.
Yeah.
College is so big. There's so many schools. They play on like Friday and Thursday and Wednesday even and all these other days for their own schedule reason. Friday has also been Friday Night Lights. It's high school football, right? Because it's not basketball. There's only one game a week type of thing. They had their days. And NFL, just by friendliness alone, would be like, okay, we'll just keep Sunday. And then a long time ago, okay, well, this TV thing is apparently for real.
Yeah.
Let's do Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, well, guys are getting hurt. They got concussions. Yeah, whatever. We'll make a movie later. Fucking. And so then now it's way longer than you might think. Like 10 years ago or something, they did Thursday Night Football for no reason. Okay, we won't fuck your Friday Night Football for high school.
We'll just do Thursday.
Well, Thursday then, right? And the NBA's probably lost ratings because people are watching, you know what I mean? Like the football instead of.
I would probably say that they probably lose ratings, but the NBA's ratings have never gone down in the past how many years?
The highest ratings of shit is, and like of viewers is football. Super Bowls.
Yeah,
and
we know this. I don't know about football game, but the Super Bowl for sure.
Other football games
is
are
the
that
highest
too.
ratings.
Yeah.
But that's just in North America. Like when we talk, because like when you talk to like, for example, I have a lot of people from India in my crew and stuff.
That's right, you do.
Cricket in the West Indies and in India is massive. And I don't think those people care about football.
You're right, they don't.
And like same thing with, don't even get started about soccer.
Yep.
Like that's another like worldwide monster. NFL is like an enigma because it's so popular and so big, and it's really only constrained to USA.
Yep.
But you can say North America because Canada and North America, same
I
shit.
understand.
So it's like a enigma monstrosity type thing.
It's the reason. You're right. No, and I'm in the middle of that, so I'm thinking of it like that, and I guess I hear it in that angles. I'm not like. In a way, a lot of them, the rest of them, in a global way, are trying to just catch up to soccer. Right, like you said, right? Like we are.
I don't even understand how soccer is that popular
because we have our North American bias.
Yeah.
Right, like even it's probably even more popular in Jamaica than it is in Canada.
Yeah,
right.
Probably.
Like you know what I mean? Like not numbers wise, percentage wise.
Yeah, they all play soccer.
Yeah,
out there.
like they don't fucking play hockey.
They don't care about basketball. It's track and field and soccer.
Exactly, because it's a way out.
Yeah,
right. It's how they view it.
Yeah,
it's not viewed for entertainment.
No,
they don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Right, but that's also what football is all about.
Yeah,
these guys are not from fucking Oakville.
No,
you know what I mean? Like these guys are like just dying to make it out.
Absolutely,
and so that's why they have that hunger to them. Baseball is like, and so the school of hungry wannabe football players is so giant in America. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be global.
No, it doesn't.
Right? Like it's like how a foreign show on Netflix is like, oh, it's good art. This is how it becomes like on the top 10 list in North America, where you have to watch it. Like it's weird. You know what I mean? It's just different, and you appreciate it for what it is, and the world might appreciate it faster than like my North American audience or me. And so, but what's, again, it's like wrestling hype. Like the NFL brings the hype.
The hype. Big time.
Like the CFL, like they're on their 120th Grey Cup. They're on like the 60th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's been more popular here than I love Australian rules football. They don't give a fuck if the world doesn't love it.
No.
Right? It's so niche. It's such a weird little Australian thing.
Yeah.
And they just like, you know what I mean? Like, it accidentally gets into my zeitgeist or attention. But football has the hype machine. They have all this money.
Yeah.
Right? Like how do we expand it? And so they also play the long game. So they play 3 regular season games in London because they've been playing 2 for the last 10 years and like 1 for the 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to Germany. And they had like an NFL Euro League for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, like you're talking, basketball naturally has or
Leagues
Europe already
everywhere.
naturally has basketball leagues.
Yeah, Europe, China,
Australia.
China's a big one. Australia's
There's
a big
another one where you go as a young guy to fucking
Yep.
like Austin Matthews from the Leafs went to Switzerland instead of playing Canadian junior,
Oh yeah,
right? Because it's a, you know what I mean? It's just like
Well,
college
who's
football.
gonna go to the States to play hockey?
Oh, lots. You would
Yeah,
love your kid
I
to go to
know-
college.
I know they lots
But not a
go,
superstar.
But like superstars, you're either you want to play in Canada if you're Canadian for the most part,
Yeah.
or you want to go to like Switzerland or freaking.
We got paid.
Europe. You know,
It's just like how now college athletes get paid now. Like I heard I think her name is Angela Reese. She's a good-looking college basketball player.
yeah,
And she's got a huge NIL like name, image, likeness deal.
Yep.
She's gonna stay in college for an extra year because she can make more money than going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Like WNBA.
WNBA, yeah,
And that's crazy,
it's nuts.
right? Like how I don't know how she doesn't bring those endorsements with her, but that's such an odd thing. Then from being lack of a better term, a slave to the system of the fuck college basketball,
Mhm.
right? Like that's the only way it goes.
Play the
Ted-
system though.
What's that?
Play the system.
Yeah, no,
man.
it's good. Like
Absolutely.
it's better for it's why we need more Mo's in our life. Like stand up for the human resource. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
don't exploit it. Like I love that his first question was like, wait a second, we track not like how can we track these people more?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You like, are they thinking that?
Mhm.
You know, that gets to that whole more conspiracy thing or whatever. Like, but I don't know. I just this whole holiday season brings more of this sports more into me. Like the football, I don't think there's a game tonight because I don't know why, but like although I it may be just because how Christmas falls on a Monday. Like there's games, there's like however many, there's 5 basketball games, there's 3 fucking football games. I think
There's
there's
3
fucking
football games on Christmas.
Yeah.
That's
There's 3 football games on Saturday, which is just a random December 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
There's fucking the whole fucking Sunday slate on Christmas Eve. These guys don't give a fuck on Sunday, which football plays. And then they're also having 3 games during, maybe not 3, I don't know, but 1 or 2 at least. 1 for sure, while the NFL or the NBA tries to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so
I wonder who the NBA is playing. I wonder who's playing this
they
season.
call that, though, they make that announcement like before the season even starts. Those are the first games they announce.
I remember seeing them say
you're not-
Christmas games, but no, I don't remember. That
But
was
it's
like
fake
months ago.
relevance. Like, that doesn't mean shit.
It
It's
doesn't
a
mean
regular season
anything.
game.
It's a regular season game, but it might be the people that you want to see face.
They have
each other.
that. The problem, like, just talk too much about it, is the NFL season is almost over. Like these games mean shit for the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
That's why they have more importance in the whole thing. Of the scheme of
yeah,
things or
for
whatever,
sure.
right? That's crazy. I didn't even know why I would even bring that up in the first place.
I don't know.
That was a whole TV stuff. I'm just happy to have not much to do. Other than being in a COVID year where you were forced not to have to do too much, you unfortunately were like ringing off all this shit you had to do this week.
Oh yeah,
All the things you have to do
busy as
next
shit.
week. You're even
Yeah,
missing work.
next
Like you're
week.
there in this
It's nuts.
you're making me feel better about myself for
Yeah,
not being in your mind place.
go just go chill out. I won't be chilling out. I'll be fucking busy.
I don't know if you want to tackle any more shit. I don't even know how long we've been doing this for. I don't have any hard outs today.
No hard outs.
Yeah. You want to give the people an ear beating?
An ear beating. Sure. What do you want to talk about now?
Well, I was bringing up a thing. It was a weird, again, total sidebar, so forgive me, people. It was, I don't know if it was in a religious talk or a thing like, how do I not like believe in a God but believe in a soul? Or even come to, again, we're talking out sidebars here, people, but high thoughts of like, is like if they're like are we in a simulation or are we in the thoughts things? But if I look at my pets and I get confused, I might get confused with what's a soul, what's a personality, but looking between eyes and saying like, yeah, you know what? Pets have a soul. You are right. You are right to be upset if a pet dies. If somebody says a statement to like, you know what? It's just a dog. It's just a pet. Like if it's not your dog or your pet, I get why you might not have that emotional attachment to it. But it's not like a TV breaking.
Is it?
I think not.
Well, religiously, they say that animals don't really have, certain religions say animals don't have souls. So that's like a whole thing, right? That's like a upbringing thing and whatnot. Some religions say animals do not have souls.
But I don't get how that line of thinking, like I don't know how a living thing isn't the same.
Well,
thing.
plants live, right?
Yeah.
You
I can have more of
bugs. Do
I
they
can have more of a
souls?
thought thing that there's consciousness there too. There's souls there too.
Hmm.
if I want to allow myself, I don't live my life like reincarnation is a thing.
Yeah.
But if certain people believe it, then I don't want to discount it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I want to go on with my day, I'm going to discount it. Punch in, go to work,
Yeah.
go home and have a beer, tequila, and watch fucking shitty reality TV shows. But if I want to get existential about it and just like, yeah, like maybe there is like you have to keep coming back and learning something and whatever. Or what if? Never mind. Yeah, maybe there.
Yeah.
So maybe there is, and not be so hard line. And so, well, what does that mean? I don't know what it means. Like, what does it mean? What does it mean if they're right? So
if they're right that they have souls or they don't have souls?
They do. What if most of me wants to think they don't. They're not as important as me.
Well,
that's my default, I think.
It doesn't necessarily mean importance. It just means that you just don't have it.
Okay. So then just thinking out loud, what about the concept of putting yourself in another man's shoes?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you just like extend that to the bug, right? Or the worst, like the plant. You know what I mean? Like I grew weed for like it's like it does something.
Yeah, it does
like unprogrammed.
Yep.
Right? Like and so okay, but where's like the cutoff? And so most of me thinks it's fish. Like I'm just getting to it, right? Like fish, right? Or just stupid fish.
Yeah.
Right? Like how
what are they?
Well, no, like, I could say that about Zach. Right? Like, that's just stupid Zach. Right? Right? I'm stretching. You're repeating.
No.
We've had a couple of extra shots.
I'm fine
right?
with it. I'm fine with it.
But like, it's so you have this idea, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's where it goes. Right? Is it all fish? Okay. Well, like some people.
I don't know. It's hard to say because like, Native Indians believe everything has a soul. Like everything. They say everything. You talk to everything. You pray to everything. They all have souls. And I think it's Christianity. And like, Catholicism and all that stuff, you don't believe animals have souls. But then in India, like, all these animals are gods.
That's
Some
true.
of these are gods.
That's interesting.
So it's like, we don't really know. And you can't measure a soul, right? Like you said, one of the only things is like looking into the eyes of an animal. And like, I've looked into dogs' eyes and stuff. And like, yeah, you feel like there's something there, but I don't know.
Well, it doesn't serve you to want to think about it too long, in a way. Like I don't like unless you're Indian or like a native, and you have these long outstanding traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Like why would that be a tradition? I think it's humbling.
Mm-hmm.
I think again to knock religion and Catholicism and all that kind of thing. It's just like it's very self-importantizing to make me the king of the world. You know what I mean? Like and in my image and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I also I don't like I just like I think it's forgiving to, like I said, like to put yourself in the shoes. Like it's easy to other something if you think it doesn't even have a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes towards factory farming. Like I don't even think you like, or I'm not even putting you in. It's nobody wants to think that we can just use the animal as a commodity like factory farming where like they're like in cages or you know what I mean, like whatever. Like it makes me not want to eat veal. You know what I mean? Like to realize that this animal isn't free type of thing or whatever, right? But I don't do anything about it. Like I'm a hypocrite. Like I
still going to Harvey's.
But I haven't eaten veal. You know what I mean? Like I will. You know what I mean? Like I will. Like whatever. Make this little soft line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
for
Fish
sure.
and Kyle. You know what I mean? Like there's that line type of thing. But also, and this is not grandized, making me grand in this way. Like I worked with Kyle this week.
Zach, you said you were going to call
Zach,
him his
shit,
name, Jay.
Zach, I did because I want to have a little self. I'm still doing the show. When I told you I worked on the other truck for our boss's sake to get something done, and when he came and we talked about how I didn't tell you this, so he came and talked to me about I did. I said yeah. He goes that somebody's in trouble. So then he turned to the truck I was working on now, the original one. He was like, so how much longer on this one? I'm like, bro. And I'm like, to be honest with you, since I've done all the other bullshit you made me do on that other one, not much. If you have somebody working on this for sure tonight, then it'll for sure get done. But I could see his eyes, like the wheels turning in his head. He didn't have Brian on the shift anymore.
Wait,
Brian was not working.
This is Caleb.
What?
You talking about Caleb?
No, I'm talking to Ryan right now.
Oh, you're talking to Ryan.
I'm talking to Ryan. No.
Because you were saying Zach. And
I brought up Zach. I'm going to get back to Zach.
Okay.
I'm back to that, but I also was talking to you. Sorry, part of this was a conversation we had before the pod. Was I did some extra nice stuff for my boss at work this week because he didn't have Brian. The schedule was getting all fucked up. He had a truck that had to get work done, so I had to work on somebody else's truck. I explained all this whining shit to Brian earlier. And so the next day, when finishing up the story I was telling you, when the truck was still in the same bullshit position, which could have got finished by the original guy if it was still going to be in that same position after the whole night shift. I think if Brian was working that night, that Wednesday night, it would have been moved. Yeah. Ryan would have had a conversation with you saying, okay, let's get this over to the paint shop. Let's get it done because this is why I had Jay working on it. Sorry, editing. Yep. And we had this. So, but in the morning, he came to me and goes, how come it's still there? When did you finish it? And I was like, well, I finished it before I left yesterday. And he was like, oh, interesting. It should have been moved. This guy's going to be in trouble. And then he turned to the next truck. So back to this original story. So we had this conversation. He's like, and I was feeling good about being a team player. He was like, how's this truck coming along? When will it be done? And so I say that. And he was like, I go, but you know what? I just got to do this work on this back in the spirit of my buddy Brian. You could have somebody come on the left side while I finish the right side. And he's like, oh, that would be handy. And I go, okay, well, I'll get back to you type of thing. And so we decided that Zach will come over and work on the right side.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I hope his dad is proud. So Zach came over and worked on the right side, and we finished the truck before I left work on Friday.
How did Zach do?
He missed a few things. He's a stupid little kid, but whatever. Yeah. He's better than a fish. So in this mind, I treat him like a person.
Yeah.
I treat him like he's somebody who I want to see succeed for the company's sake, for me being a nice guy, for his sake, however many things you go. But that's because I'm just grandizing in this high conversation, and we should have stopped an hour ago, is that he's a person with a soul who needs help, who wants, you know what I mean? Who's going to do?
This can't not sound funny to me because I can just picture talking about Zach. That's
what do you mean?
He's like, he needs help.
No, it's a person that wants.
I know.
And the boss needs you know what I mean? And so it all worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have to just like get over, like, you know what?
Doesn't that feel good, Jay?
In a way to tell you, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not selfishly, no.
Would you want to do more of that?
No. Selfishly, no.
No, but like,
No, but you get why I know. Right? Like part of me's burnt out like Ron.
Yeah.
Part of me just wants to get it done. I know how to do it right. Mm-hmm. Like I get it. You know what's great is like, oh, here, the bumper has been done for you. Yeah, you got to put it on lots of hours, thank God you know how to do it. But at least you didn't have to build it. You know what sucked? It wasn't built right. Mm-hmm. Because somebody, not me, and I don't want to throw blame, but didn't show whoever had to do it right. Mm-hmm. Was it the person who just jumped on it and just did assuming? No, it's the supervisor that didn't show them how to do it right.
Absolutely.
I could almost, if you were there that week, I could have said, hey, man, why did you let this person go and do this, like willing, whatever, out of the blue? And you can just say, I assume they did. I had no idea. I had all this other shit going on. But somebody just let somebody go. Like it's the person who welded it together. So I hate that it wasn't built right. Mm-hmm. I wish I did it all myself. Yep. I can't lose that. But that's not how the world, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't how it goes. You have to cede like power and control or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't really think about that all the time.
No?
Most in a work sense. Like I like calling you a control freak. Like Tammy is a control freak. Freak is a strong word. You're more controlling. Yeah. Or want to be in control.
Well, I gotta kind of have to be at this point.
For work and for being a dad, or what?
Yeah. Yeah, for work and being a dad. I feel like that if I'm not in control of the shift, but I'm gonna get all the blame, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If I'm not in control of my kids and they grow up to be murderers, I'm gonna get all the blame.
Interesting.
So there's gotta have some sort of sense of it, I guess.
Interesting. I don't know when you I don't how you don't ever get to let go of that.
I don't think so.
You're doing the elf on the shelf for the kids.
Yeah.
We talked about the elf on the shelf.
I don't like doing it. It's fun at sometimes, but I don't want it to be a long thing.
Is that wrapping up parenthood in a fucking nutshell? You're doing it for the kids.
Yeah, that's basically
you're getting over yourself.
Yeah.
For that, like giving them a memory of some kind.
Yeah.
Establishing that's, I mean, deeply, you're not telling them that this is what you have to do for your kids, right? Like, but you're like, you'll never know how much I'm, again, really small, but you never know what I'm doing for you right here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
right? Like obviously on the grander parenting scale, that's more. You can't do it to want that recognition.
No, you got to do it for several reasons.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the recognition, but because that's the right thing to do. You got to, if you can't bring these people, human beings, into the world and then just say, fuck them. I was with Esmera a couple weeks ago. We were driving and she was talking about how, I don't want to put all her mom's business on blast, but she was talking about how her sister, her mom's daughter, not my daughter,
Yep.
was her dad doesn't see her, doesn't call her on her birthdays or anything like that. She just started kindergarten, so I don't know how old that is, right? And then she's like, yeah, my mom always picks toxic guys, and and like she goes, in our lingo, deadbeats. I'm just thinking like, this has been around a while, relax.
Yeah.
Right? And then she goes, except for you kind of always been around, so. And that's one of the first moments where I was realized that even though all the bullshit that I've been dealing with for years, and it's kind of getting better now, that it is starting to be in her head that I've been here, I've been doing or trying my best to do my job. You know what I mean? So that was one of the first realizations from her that I've ever got.
That's a fucking Merry Christmas present.
Right?
That's a thank you. Like thanks for telling me that. Thanks for telling us that, because you deserve it. I'm not here to just pump that more up there because that's all you get.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's so hard to get.
Yeah.
I would imagine, and again, nobody's business on anything, is that if I were hearing what I know about the situation, is that she probably gives her mom more of this than she deserves.
Probably.
Right? Like when her mom hears it, mom probably doesn't realize how hollow it might be. But for you to hear it, again, she's a smart girl. Unfortunately, like manipulation is, all you girls out there know fucking how to do it.
Oh, pros.
Right? But you've, from what I know about this, is that this is where cutting out all that bullshit is making sense. It's just like where you're doing that therapy stuff you do, like it's the long game comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Like you getting that is a fucking $1 million, you winning the $50 million in the 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
You got a 50-50 chance that she's going to recognize that work you put in.
Yeah.
And that might be generous, 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I thought it was going to be like adulthood, like you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, and you realize something like this.
Well, no, to hear it,
that's when I thought I would hear it.
Yeah, no, like, but you can hope that she would internalize it, and realize it in situations where she might see these other deadbeat people and know how different it is. That's why it's so easy to hurt you in a way like, oh, he's not trying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you hear a story or whatever, like in a way that you think that's how she thinks. But in a teenage girl type of way, it's just like, oh, that's the easiest way to, you know what I mean? Like that, like good luck fighting that fight. Like, so I'm so proud. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, man.
This is why you're still working out. It's like you're in the middle of this. Oh, the discipline works, right? Like you're riding that train. And
now I got to amp it up.
Working well. But then you'll burn out. You know what I mean? Then it's eventually it's like, God, fuck these curls. Like my arms are big enough now. It's just like, oh, there's some pumpkin pie over there. Like whatever it is. Like it's the Super Bowl. I gotta have wings now. So way back, this is how it started. So this is not a big thing. It's just like in diving into the other. I'm trying too hard to tie it into his merit and all these things. But when the company comes up with a fitness challenge, it's just like, oh, I don't want to be involved. Oh, I don't want to try. It's just like, you know what? It might give me this extra motivation to see it.
Yeah.
Right? Like to see is just like, oh, you know what? I am doing. Oh, look at us. Way more than these office people. Well, they went to go to the gym after they went, but like we did that much work before we worked out. And just like, yeah, like I think it'll give me that motivation instead of not wanting to start a New Year's resolution on New Year's. It's like, well, if the company's doing it, I might as well try.
Yeah.
So
why not?
It's not going to make me be part of the social committee type of thing or whatever. Oh, this is why I brought it up, the whole pet thing. Never mind this. So we got on the whole tangent of doing this. When I said my pets have a soul, you think your computer has more of a soul than the pet. Yeah. This is what the conference, that's why that statement is up there.
They both have souls, yeah.
So which was more likely to happen? The pet, the random, because Jesus told you that, or the guy talking about Jesus told you that they're not putting, sorry.
No, fault. That's correct.
So why would your computer have a soul more than a pet would have a soul? What would make you say something like that?
That's easy.
Okay, why?
because I love it more than my pets.
Interesting. That's true. I get it. No, you don't have to be shy. I get it. Don't have to, you said the L word because something with a soul is worth having love for.
Yeah. And I remember when Selena, she had a dog when I met her. And so how long was I around with this dog? 8 years?
That turned into Sire.
Yeah, that turned into Sire, right? I had a bond with this dog. Like he really liked me, like a lot, right? And like it's funny because you talk about souls. I remember one time he did something. What did he do? He was we lived in a condo in Mississauga, and one day he just tore the place apart. Like I guess it was separation anxiety type of a thing, right? And I was so mad at him. Like I didn't talk to him for days. This dog was depressed for days. He didn't do anything. He just laid around for days. And then the day I started talking to him, he was so happy. He was ecstatic. He was just like, this guy's talking to me again? Yeah. But I'm the guy who, at that point, I was only around like a year. You know what I mean? So like maybe a little more. And so it's like, I mean, do you have to have a soul to have those kind of like...
Is that personality
depression, anxiety? True, it could be personality because those are considered personality disorders, right?
Traits. Like that's it's traits. It's like what makes it like that's the overextension of what a soul might be, but in the best way possible to want to have a soul, to realize what soul is, like to find soul in music and art and all this thing. Like why that word attaches to all those things.
True.
Which makes it more real. Which what can make reincarnation real. But the fact that you fucking think that this dog's personality soul is in Sire makes you already default know that that's true. Like you inherently want to think that.
I have no hard stance on it, really.
You don't have a hard stance on anything. So you luckily put yourself in a position to say that about everything. Right? Like, way to go. Way to play the long game on that thing too. Where the part about the computer part comes in, it's like, does this desk have, you know what I mean? Like, does a house have a soul?
No, but I can talk to my computer and say, why are you acting like this?
But now the computer can talk back to you.
Right?
Right? This is where it gets fucking confusing.
It's because I need some more memory.
This is where next conversation will get back into our AI world type of thing.
Yep.
Where it's just learning from where it's just like getting is it just mimicking what we think personality/soul is?
Okay, well, did you get a weird message from me today?
Did I get a weird I did. I got a weird message from you today.
You did, right?
What's up with that? You want to talk about that?
So, in our Google Messages, we have this new feature that it's obviously it's AI, obviously.
I'm gonna fucking say that.
And you can type your message however you want, and then you hit this button, and then it'll rewrite your messages in several different ways. So there's it's remix where they just remix it. There's Shakespeare, which is the one I sent you. It'll rewrite your message. You have like 5 options of your message in Shakespeare, right? There's like chill.
Know this?
There's like rhyme, so it'll do a whole rhyme, which I was gonna do, but I couldn't write a long enough message for it to make sense.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
There's like a couple others. So I was doing that, and so I was like, I'm sending this to Jay, and I did that, and the original message was, sounds good, I'm ready to start the show. That was the original message.
You're on fucking crack. I can't believe you took this long. We might not even have talked about this. Because I can't believe I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Because my first thought was that when you sent that, I'm like he's fucking with me. He's got nothing else to do right now. That this is how he wants. I go, so I'll be like, okay, I'll be there soon. I'll tell you when I'm leaving. And he was like, AYE. Most of his are fucking 4 words long. If he sends me a message that is like a paragraph, it's like 1 every 10 messages that he sends me. Okay, people. So I tell him I'm going to be there soon. He's like, that doth sound pleasing to the ear. Period. I am prepared to commence. And I'm like, oh, great, you're drunk already. So, but I swear to you, like 25% of me was just like, oh, that was an AI assisted thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was some kind of fucking technology piece of fucking evidence that he's using on me.
Absolutely.
And I forgot all about it.
So yeah,
So that's
I did
crazy.
pull that out. It just dropped, and I'm excited to use it, but I have no reason because my messages are like two words. So I'm like, this is the opportunity.
It needs to fucking because that's apparently not you.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But also, I didn't know you were not taking your vacation seriously. I figured you've had a whole week of fucking living it up,
Oh, yeah,
of eating
right.
the extra cookies, not working out, being drunk, and I'm like, oh, this guy's in a good spot.
Yeah.
This guy's even coming up with old Shakespeare themes himself. But no, you're AI assisted.
Yep, AI assisted to enjoy my vacation.
So yes, on the grander scheme of things,
Yep.
I think we are, at the very least, we are teaching your computer, AI / whatever you want, the Matrix. We are teaching it on how to have a soul.
Absolutely, I agree.
Right? Know what I totally forgot about in this conversation, and when I thought of it in other ways that I didn't put in our document, is remember that movie, the trailer we watched that I haven't seen since? It was showing the robot, and there was a kid.
It's out.
And it must be on rental by now or something. It's been out, but I haven't thought of it in a sense of waves. It's like, oh, that's what you do. You make it a kid.
Yeah.
Like but then by saying it, that means it's soul.
Mhm.
Right? Like, and so for your fucking gay Shakespearean changing, like, it's like, eventually it's going to be, oh, Brian's doing this again. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Google
it.
Google's been working on their whole they were late to the AI chat GPT game type thing. So they've been putting a lot of effort into that right now, right? And it's basically on par now. And what I learned, I was reading a couple articles on this kind of because I've been trying to figure out, because these big tech companies don't do things without a future plan. So I'm figuring out, like, you're not doing this just to be a competitor to rewrite essays and to rewrite, because that's basically all ChatGPT does. It rewrites essays and emails and stuff for you like that, right? But I was trying to figure out where Google's going to go do it, because you're not just going to be the competitor. And from certain people in the tech industry have certain speculations from like evidence or insiders that they're trying to be an operating system for robots. So the Google Chat GPT thing, which is called Gemini, is supposed to be like this ubiquitous, like for Android is for LG, for Google, for Samsung, for all these things. They want to be that for the future AI robots, like Tesla robots, but Tesla probably do their own thing. But something like that. So it's cheaper for people to make robots and say, hey, I'll just put this software on, and there you go. I got a full-fledged AI robot.
We've already got too long. This is why we've got to squeeze one in for that, because this should be our topic. So because this is where it extends. I never watched that movie, Her, or Ex Machine.
Yeah, I
that
know
one.
what you're talking about.
So it's where the guy falls in love with the fucking robot and the AI, and it learns, and it just. I think by making it a robot, it even makes it more human. Right? Like, it's already dangerous enough in this, turn my words to Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But also, you know what it also is hard to notice, and you said it with the music, and you've said it's just mimicking what we've already done as humans, or said but it's all copyright infringement. Right? Like, none of it is like, never mind sampling or making my song good because I'm using a song that's already been made good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're using Shakespeare's words. Like, how, like, Shakespeare doesn't get his due. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, where does this, like, we're totally, it's unearned. You know what I mean? Like, it's the copyright is existing to protect your, whatever, you're like it's not you know what I mean? Like, your thoughts, you know what I mean? It's exploited.
But
you're not exploited in a coal mine type of way.
Yeah.
You're exploited in, like, you're using my words just in the simplest.
But you have to remember, in Shakespeare,
cheapest.
Everybody talked like that. So it wasn't just Shakespeare. But I guess that's just a way to make it familiar.
But they don't know Joe Blow's fucking words from that. Like, they're just copying what Shakespeare wrote.
It's not his words per se. That's how everybody taught. That's how the English language was.
So then it has its own personality by deciding which way it goes and making it.
Yeah.
Like, you could ask the question twice and it gives you two different answers. Or
it gives you
you say
5-6 different answers just right then and there.
So then you decide on how did it decide on those decisions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, is it something?
That's AI.
Yeah.
That's
is it
AI.
real? Has it got a soul? We'll find out next week, people. Tune in. I want to thank everybody. Merry Christmas to all, and have an all good night. But hopefully we'll see you guys next week. And thanks for everybody for tuning in.